start right out. Hey, what happened?
Yeah, there we are. Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Dean. We had a busy show. Very busy. Lots going on. We had a federal election called the other day, which will be interesting, so we're going to talk about that. We've got some people flying off of planes in Afghanistan, and not in a good way. The Taliban is back, which is not good, but kind of good, and we'll kind of get to that in just a few minutes. And before you get all shitty with me, let me introduce everybody to the program. Please welcome all of my friends, literally the only three friends I have. Darrin Pfeiffer from the rock and roll band Goldfinger and the Dangerous Darrin Show, at Darrin Pfeiffer on Twitter. James DiFiore from Blackballed the podcast and blackballed.ca, at James DiFiore on Twitter. And our traveling gypsy, please welcome from Trippin' with Bondzee Live, Greg Bond. Good to see everybody. How are we today? Bondzee's in the bus. Darrin's in the studio. James is at the kitchen table. And I think we're ready to go. No Lochlin today, though, because he's taking care of his wiener. He is looking out for his wiener.
Also, what does it matter to you, Dean? These are locally the three friends that you have. So
yeah.
So Lachlan's
pretty good. Lachlan's
pretty good. Not a real friend of Dean's. Lochlin, no.
No, he's a friend. He's a good friend. He's I'm going to see him at the end of the month. He needs a break. He told me that he was taking this week off of his radio gig, and his wife told him that he wasn't allowed to do podcasts this week. And he was, quote, let me read this to you. I'm doing what's best for my penis. So, I mean, hey.
I get it. Basically, he wants to keep his wife happy, so she keeps the penis happy.
You know what would have been funny if we just were like, all right, and then we arranged it with his wife for her to fill in as guest host.
That would have been
yeah, it would
have. Anyway, good that everybody's here. Nice to see you guys. We got lots going on, and we're going to get to Bondzee trying out for the LPGA coming up in just a few minutes. That literally happened this morning. But I don't know where to start. We've got the federal election Trudeau called on the weekend, and everybody fucking hates everybody, and what we'd like to do is breathe a little common sense into this whole thing today, so we're going to get into that. But then we've also got this fucking terrible scene out of Afghanistan. And I'd be remiss not to talk about it because Darrin's in LA, and we were just kind of shooting the shit about it ahead of time. The pictures and the video, which we'll get to in a minute, of the Taliban, it would take like 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks max. Once they decided to pull people out, Biden gives the order, Trudeau gives the order, all the Western countries are pulling out, and literally created this power vacuum where the Taliban, it took 2 weeks for them not only just to run a fucking train on the country, but they just took over the entire city, Kabul. They took over the airport. They're literally painting over pictures of women without hijabs on at airport, like advertisements and stuff like that. They just literally burned down a couple of schools today too. So, I mean, it's a mess, but the videos that we're seeing coming out of Kabul are fucking unbelievable. Like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. This is a video of a C-17. I believe it was one of, if not the last C-17, which is a military transport plane. It's the biggest one they make, belonging to the United States, taxiing down the runway with people trying to get out of that fucking country. And when I say people, I mean people that are not down with the Taliban, people that are like, fuck, I am not into Sharia law. And they're so scared. They're so scared now that Canada, the United States, mainly the United States, has just decided to fucking pull out and leave these people high and dry, that this is what they're doing. Hanging on. You can hear the fucking plane, obviously, hanging on to tying themselves to wheels. You could see in the front. That guy looked like he was having a good time out for a jog. But look at these people hanging on to the C-17 as it taxis down the runway with people inside, and these are Afghans trying to get the fuck out. Then
it's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch. It's terrible. It's
fuck,
sad.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine. Like, I was thinking about this because we called the election couple of days ago and everybody's losing their minds and it's too early, which it is, and this guy's bad and that guy's terrible, and what are we gonna do? There's no one to fucking vote for. And this is going on. What a bunch of soft cunts we are in this country. Sincerely.
Yeah, it's a video like this that really puts your life into perspective.
Yeah, huge.
You got to go, hey, at least Jack Canada's not perfect.
What's that? Go ahead, James.
We also might have a bit better grasp on it. You're not going to complain. Desperate. I've never seen people try to hang on to the plane knowing that plane is going into the air.
James, your internet is for shit. You sound like Cher. You sound like Cher, buddy. Okay?
Do you believe in life after love? After love? After love? I can feel something inside. No.
I love it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either, dude. Never in my life have I ever seen it. I've never seen. Oh, here we go. Are we out? There we go. Jamesy's back. I think we're good now. I've never seen that before in my life too, James. Sorry, you cut out there. What were you saying?
That's okay. Just that I've never seen that. I wasn't trying to belittle it. I guess I was, but just people holding onto an airplane, like we all know that that's not going to work, right? Like, what did they? I can't even imagine that level of desperation where you just think that it's going to work, that you're going to hang onto an airplane that flies 20,000 feet up into the air. Like,
right?
I don't know.
40.
That's pure desperation.
Yeah.
Like when the plane's in the air, they're like, all right, open the door, let them in.
No,
look at the people sitting down with blanket on them. Like they're sitting against the wall.
I think they're going to make it.
It's so bizarre. Yeah.
They thought they were going to make it.
Yeah.
Like that's the part that sits with me as I'm watching these videos is these people are clearly fucking petrified of the incoming government, clearly petrified of Sharia law, which you should be, clearly petrified of what is going to happen now that the United States and the Western world fucking hightailed it. Well, I'll tell you what happened. Some of those people actually hung on for dear life. This is a video, and it's making its rounds. I think it had like 200,000 views after we put it out at like 6 o'clock this morning. But this is a video of, and listener, if you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, etc., go to YouTube and you can watch this as we put it on YouTube, Dean Blundell Show, or Twitch, Dean Blundell TV Live. But this is a video of that same plane about 10,000 feet in the air, and just people couldn't hang on. You're going to have to watch it. It's fucked. Like, it's hard to watch.
We also have to be careful.
It's literally hard to watch.
I'm surprised they hanged on for that long, to be honest. Like,
oh, fuck.
Like,
I am too.
Holding on for dear life.
What kind of death grip would you have on a plane as it's accelerating up to 150, 200 miles an hour to get off the ground, to get lift? I mean, you must have quite a grip on whatever you're holding on to.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's like,
point,
and then,
when are you gonna, like, your sensible brain gonna kick in and go, okay, this is a really bad idea. I don't like the Taliban, but I also don't want to die on a runway. Like,
yeah, but these are people that are dead if they don't try, right? These are people probably that. What do you mean? These are people that worked with. Well, hang on. These are people that worked with the Taliban, didn't work with the Taliban, worked with American forces, worked with Canadian forces, and a couple of weeks ago, when Canada and the United States and all the other allied countries decided they were going to pull up stakes, they didn't do anything. They just fucking left. And here's the fucking amazing part: is the desperation that bred is for one of two reasons. One is Sharia law and of course, jihadis and extreme Muslims. But the other one is the Americans and Canada and all the Western world left behind something like $10 billion worth of shit. Guns, tanks, weapons, bullets, bombs, cars, trucks, Humvee. I mean, fuck.
Apple Music gift cards. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
But like, we literally, and then so I started thinking about it today, and I thought, why the fuck were we there?
Yeah,
well,
that's a money and time.
That's a question for George Bush. He started the whole thing. Ask him why. Ask that administration why they went in. That's what America does. When someone cries for help, we come to the rescue. Now that's the conventional way to look at it. There was a lot of money to be made in Afghanistan. You know, contracts were given out to businesses and they profited. And I'm sure the Bush administration and Cheney and others had, they profited from this, as well as following administrations profited from it. But I think the Americans were like, well, this is going on way too. It's like our generation's Vietnam. What's the point? Like, communists are going to take over in Vietnam, and the Taliban is going to take over in Afghanistan, and there's really nothing we can do about it. If we stay there for another year or 5 or 10, that just means another couple tens of thousands of people dead on the Canada side, on the U.S. side, and for what? For what? It's like you put your finger in a dam, and then another leak sprouts, and you put your finger in that dam, and another leak sprouts. It's going to keep happening, and you had to at some point rip the Band-Aid off and go, fuck this.
We're out.
Let's bring our troops back and start like putting them places where it really matters. Because not that Afghanistan doesn't matter. It's an unwinnable war. Vietnam was an unwinnable war, and this is an unwinnable war.
Oh yeah, totally. Listen, part of it, James, is I think now when I look at the vacuum that was created by everybody leaving, it was bound to happen anyway. I mean, didn't matter when. We pulled out or when allies pulled out. But it also, like, I started thinking to myself, if you understand how that area of the world works. No, he's back. If you understand how that area of the world works, religious extremism is segmented like 15 different ways in that area of the world. So, like, I know people fucking hated Saddam Hussein, and I know people hated the Afghans and Sharia law. Like in the Western world, we hate things that sound mean. This sounds like a fucking, and it is. It's mean. It's evil. It's totalitarian. But it works in those areas, right? And it's a terrible fucking thing to say. But like, I don't like. We go back to why did we go in there? Like, it goes back to the same thing. Knowing what we see now. Were we like, fuck, are those people in different countries left to their own devices? Like, I have a real fucking issue with us going into other countries to tell them how they should do shit. And because it's the Western way, and this is a much nicer way. Like, I get fucking annoyed when Canada goes into some countries to take care of a humanitarian thing sometimes. I mean, and there are different examples, and to use critical thinking, you got to go through them issue by issue and place by place. But like, fuck, things here aren't incredible. Like, are you going to go and preach the good news of democracy across the world when it just doesn't work, James? Does that make sense?
Well, no, it does. But the main point of Afghanistan, I think, is that it was such a bipartisan war. If it was an Al Gore administration, they would have gone into Afghanistan. There's no doubt about it. Bush administration's real mistake was Iraq, as I think we know that. But and then I don't know. I'm just always reminded of General Colin Powell's statement where he's like, if you break it, you own it. So if you go into a country and you stay there for 20 years, how you leave is just as important as how you came in. And I left in the middle of the night. I don't understand why the news of them leaving, the party was so close together, weren't able to get their people out or their equipment. Have we been told reason as to why it took place, like in the middle of the night? It seemed, and also I think it's
in general,
just in general, all the countries that left, all the countries that still had militaries there that left, why didn't they get their people out first? I don't really understand. But also, I think I just want to point out that plane video. I saw the clips of the people on the plane as it was about to take off. And then I've seen the clip of it in the air with the stuff falling. I'm not saying it's not real, but we have to be very careful. There's been, I have a dozen videos off the top of my head that during wartime has been proven to be not true. They also use footage. When the Palestinians and the Israelis are fighting, they'll use footage of a soldier kicking like a Kurdish person from like 10 years before that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what we saw there. It looked like people clung to a plane. The next thing you know, plane's in the air and something's falling.
Yeah, that could be doctored. You can doctor something falling off a plane at height. I guess you're right.
But they always do that. They want that
looked pretty damn real to me.
transformational image.
Yeah,
the
That
Saddam
looks pretty
statue
real.
being
I don't
pulled
know if
down.
you can.
Saddam,
Yeah,
the
I don't
Saddam
know
statue
if-
being pulled down, or the flag from Iwo Jima being put up. You know, there's all
James, could you do me a favor?
But
James, can you hear me? Can you hear me, James?
unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, see, now I'm not going to help you. I was actually just.
Oh, shit.
I was just going to ask
Oh,
if
thank you
would-
for that.
Okay, I was going to ask you, James, if you would give me your Venmo so I could send you some money so you can pay your fucking internet bill. But now, you know what? Now, fuck you. Get your own internet, dick.
Joke book I sent you. Congratulations on that one.
Lochlin Cross is
get
here.
ready to-
Clearly, he's taking care of his wiener already. We said you weren't going to be here because you had to take care of your wiener, but
Look
you're
at
here,
the
so that's good.
spring in
Sounds like
his
you're
No, we
step.
had a nice little
Yeah.
morning this morning. We took the mother-in-law to the botanical gardens. Then we went to Chapters to shop for a book. I got a Starbucks.
Did you ever? It's good. We're just playing this video. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of the videos coming out of Afghanistan. Like this video of people trying to get on this plane as it takes off. Like how fucking crushing this whole thing has been to watch. It's wild.
I
Anyway,
did see a bit of it this morning. Can we say out loud? And this is listen. I am not pro one way or the other, but I think at some point somebody needs to look back at these conflicts that we've had in our lives and realize that, hey, we spend 20 years there and we leave and it goes right back to the way it was. How much of an impact are we having?
The fuck?
zero.
Listen,
the thing.
I understand we're trying to force
0.0.
everybody to live like us.
You know,
I know we want to try our new bombs and guns out in different places around the world, but should we be interfering? And this is what I come back to, James. Should we fucking be I don't think we should, no matter how bad things are in different countries. Like, fuck, that's their shit, not our shit. When it gets real bad, I know we've got our fucking responsibility to it, but whatever. What's that, sorry?
do you remember when Ron Paul was like doing well as a presidential candidate among moderates and some like progressives? Well, it was because he had what he called a non-interventionist foreign policy. And United States was like, knee deep in Iraq and Afghanistan at the time. And what he says makes sense. And there's that overlap between non-violent liberals and libertarians where it's like, why would you want to go and meddle in another country and try to fix their politics? Like, you can't even fix your domestic politics. You're going to go where the culture is not yours. And you're going to try to, repair their political system. Are you mad?
That's a really good point. Look at the three fucking idiots we have running federally right now in the Quebec elections is what I'm referring to them.
Let's have us give you advice.
Yeah, here we got three morons to choose from, but we're going to tell you how to run your country. Holy mother. Yeah.
But we all know
but
it's money.
Yeah, for sure it is. And we were talking about that earlier, Locke, before you got on. How fucked it is that, we're sitting here complaining about having to choose between three idiots to be our next prime minister. Like, I'm so disenfranchised. Oh my God, I can't believe it. There's no one. We have lunatics. This country's a mess. That country's a mess. You want to see a fucking mess? This is a mess. Sincerely, that's a mess. We got it fucking pretty good here. Like, really good.
Yeah,
but
it does give you some perspective, eh?
Yeah, some fucking food for thought.
I'm telling you, I bet you dozens of these people were seen later spending American money. I don't know. I just have to, or not American money.
You're so fucking like paranoid.
I'm not paranoid. I'm not paranoid. I've witnessed it how many times in my. I don't know if it was or wasn't, is my answer. Because, again, you see the clip, people are jogging beside a plane, and then the next clip you see the plane's way up in the air and something falls. And it's like, okay, it's like a UFO sighting or a Sasquatch sighting. Why can't you ever get good footage?
Maybe it was one of the bodies clinging to the plane.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Or maybe it was a dummy. I don't fucking know. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
Well, I guess it's a lot to make up in a war-torn country, but I mean, hey, I'm pretty sure that they fucking didn't land on the moon, so maybe that's true. I mean, I don't
Bondzee,
know.
I don't think we can hear you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
don't
was
know if
just going to
Bondzee can
say,
hear us.
with all those people, can you hear me
there he
now?
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all those people hanging on to that plane and surrounding that plane, it makes you wonder if James isn't wrong in saying that did that really happen? Like, because why would that plane take off if you've got literally hundreds of people clinging for their life to try and stay alive, and the plane still takes off?
Well, but
yeah,
that's
Because at the time the plane's not going that fast.
yeah, I don't know, but it reminded everybody of the fall of Saigon with that helicopter in Vietnam, like the last helicopter to leave Vietnam off that rooftop and whatever. And you know, I don't know. They're just. First of all, have you ever seen human beings try to cling to a plane that's about to go 30,000 feet in the air? This is a first for me.
Just on those Tom Cruise movies.
I was just
Right?
going to say, just the Mission Impossible movies,
Right.
which are real, by the way. Those are like
Oh,
nonfiction
totally.
movies.
It's almost like
Yeah.
these Afghans haven't seen Mission Impossible 3. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so they must know the consequences of hanging on to that plane. Like, they
I
must have known they were going to die.
Dude, that's because the alternative is like fucking death too, right? So they're like, hey, maybe there's a way.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think
Maybe
about
he's
like
thinking,
that as a human being. Like maybe I might be able to get in the wheel well here.
Yeah.
You know, maybe.
There's an outside chance I might find a door into this plane and I'll live in the United States for the rest of my life. Or somebody in the Taliban is going to feed me my testicles tonight.
Yeah. So,
Right? Like,
Fair
that's
enough.
seriously what they're doing. That's seriously where they are.
What a horrible choice to have to make.
That's right.
Yeah. If they had to make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
from the
What a
guy living in
terrible
Palm
choice.
Desert. I have a friend who was in the military for quite a few years. He was an officer. He went into he was a helicopter pilot. He was over in Afghanistan a few times, and I remember talking to him about just how pointless it was. And he said it's so bizarre. He told one story. He said one time we were standing there, and we're on base, and we're watching a guy that looks like he stepped out of the last century, and he's walking along with his donkey, and he just stops and answers his cell phone. Like he goes, the country's just fucked. There's elements of modern life, but then there's this guy that gets around, like moves his shit around with a donkey. Like it, and he's like, we are having no impact on these people's lives. We're not changing them. We'll build them a school or a bridge. They fucking blow it up. He's like, it means nothing to them. They're going to go right back to the way they were living their lives. And the last 20 plus years that we occupied Afghanistan means absolutely net zero.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. You can
And
see.
if you talk to
vacuum
anybody
was
that
left,
went
right?
out there, went out there, they'll probably say the same thing, right?
I bet you the majority of people in that country are probably fucking cool with it. Like I know what we saw. I know we saw what we saw at the airport. I know we saw people desperately trying to get out of the country. But there's a good portion of that country still chock full of Muslim extremists that like living like that, right? And they like the control that it brings to all the fucking disenfranchised different people in and around and different tribes in and around the area. So, like, fucking, we just go in and tell people that this is the best way to live, and if you don't live this way, we're going to fucking shoot you, we're going to bomb you. I mean, that's what has happened, and you're right. You're 100% right, Locke. Like, we should have been there, and we're not there anymore. And it's not a travesty if that's what that country decides that's what's best for that country. Do we think it's wrong? Yeah.
But the problem is that there are certain situations in the world, I think, as a democratic society, we should be trying to find ways to help. But I don't necessarily think it's cash or show of force. If you send cash over there, it just doesn't do anything. If you send military might over there, it just doesn't do anything. But there has to be a change at some point. it has to. We have to start like in some countries, women aren't allowed to drive. How fucked is that? Like, it's not even a vote thing. They're not allowed out of the house without face coverings. And I mean, I know this gets into a religious conversation, and it's probably a little more than we want to unpack today. But at the same time, there's got to be somebody smarter out there than the five of us that's got some idea on how to impact change in some of these world. But quite often we make things worse. Like, we go over there, occupy, hang out for however long, leave, and it's even more fucking unstable than it was when we got there. And you'd think that at some point somebody would go, hey, look, let's take a look back at all of these situations in our lives over history, and let's evaluate what we've accomplished in these regions by putting armies there. Oh, nothing? Okay, well, let's not do that anymore. Like, it's fucked. It's crazy.
You know, Locke, more often than not, it works. Like in World War I, it worked. In World War II, it worked. In the Korean War, it worked. In Vietnam, it didn't. It didn't. So there's successes and failures on both sides of the ledger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think World War I and World War II are different examples. You had somebody that was trying to take over the world, and they wanted it, and then the rest of us stood up and said, no, fuck off. Right? The Korean War, I don't know much about, but I mean, I'm talking about these occupations of Libya and Afghanistan, and where we move in,
Iraq.
Yeah. Like,
Vietnam.
do we have any Vietnam? Do we have any impact in Iraq? I don't think we did. Did we?
No.
Well, Saddam Hussein,
we made it.
Saddam
We
Hussein
made
was
it 10
killed.
times. We made it 10 times worse. Saddam Hussein was the most evil bastard ever, but since he was gone, a lot more people were killed in Iraq and the vicinity than when he was in power. So if you're counting it by death toll, that's not going to work. If you're counting it by brutal dictators, ISIS versus Saddam, I don't know. Pick your poison. Like, they're both really bad.
Yeah.
Whenever we go into a country like anywhere in the Middle East, we are immediately seen by most of the people there as like meddling in affairs that aren't ours. And some of the desperate people are like, yes, we love you, America, and all that kind of stuff. That is a minority view. That is not something that is like shared by the people that. Imagine someone occupying Canada for 20 years, like what we would think of that occupying force.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So maybe
Yeah,
America,
exactly.
So what you're saying, if I get this straight, James, that America should invade Canada.
Well, you kind of already have.
Yeah.
We're one.
Your news and entertainment
so far.
dominates.
Dear Joe Biden, I know you got a lot on your plate today, but maybe you
Why?
should
Do you mind if we-
He can't scream.
Maybe you should gaslight everybody and just invade Canada.
He can't use his smartphone. Aaron.
Yeah.
He drools on it. He can't see the screen. Well. It's awful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I like him though, and I think that's going to be like a fucking conversation. Is like, whose fault is this? It's fucking Western democracy's fault. That's whose fucking fault it is. Speaking of Western democracies, we have, fuck, we think it's best for everybody. It ain't sometimes.
Oh,
just
before we
fucking
leave Afghanistan, if I can just make one last point, Biden was more of a hawk on Afghanistan and Iraq than Trump was.
Yeah,
So
he was,
and always has been.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
Okay, so switching gears, we had an election called on Sunday. Trudeau, 2 years early, goes to the Governor General's residence with his family, hid behind his family for this one, which I thought was really fucking brave. Goes with his family, calls an election 2 years early. It's going to be September 20th in the pandemic. This is clearly the most disenfranchised Canadian voters have ever been.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I keep hearing is we are a leaderless country. I would not disagree with that statement. This election doesn't need to happen, but it's happening. And so what I want to do is I want to talk about our side of the street. I want to talk about policing ourselves. I want to talk about educating ourselves as opposed to just because one of the things, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but over Twitter, Instagram, social media, all I see are people going off, hating each other, cons hating libs and libs hating cons and the NDP just hating everybody because that's what the NDP does. But like, I have never in my life coming up to an election been so fucking careful of not sounding partisan because it's death right now. Because that's all I see. I see.
Quick question about
this morning. I put a thing. Go ahead.
Family. Sorry.
Yeah.
What's his wife's name?
Sophie.
Sophie. And her maiden name? Beard, right? I had to get that in early. You can keep going. I just the only reason I joined the podcast today.
And that's a
was
goal
good for
by
you,
Lochlin
Loch.
Cross,
Was
and
to-
the assist. Also Lochlin Cross.
Was
You got the goal and
the only
assist,
reason
buddy.
I can even go now, because that's the only reason I joined today. I've been
We'll get to
hanging
that.
on to that.
We'll get to that in a minute. But some of the things that I want to talk about these guys today because James, I don't know where you want to start. Do you want to start with who's up for election? Do you want to start with Trudeau calling the election? Why don't we start there? Okay, this is him calling the election, 22 minutes. I want you to listen very carefully because what he says here when he says, I'm going to call the election, or he says, we've been called tyrannical. If that's the case, let's have a fucking election. This turned me off, and I think it should turn most people off.
We've seen situations where conservative backbenchers have referred to some of this government's decisions as tyrannical in terms of how we're creating mandates for vaccination of public servants or vaccination of people on trains and airplanes. Well, the answer to tyranny is to have an election.
Your thoughts,
Well,
James?
I'm trying to come up with the right amount of words to even describe how flimsy and kind of petulant. This is the same guy that said, 2 months ago, that if you disagree with Bill C-10, you wear a tinfoil hat. Like, he's not really in a position to lecture others on political discourse. I don't think at this point he just delivers it like a baby. So it's like we're supposed to be all sensitive to it. I'm trying not to sound like a rabid right winger when I criticize this man, but I don't know how else to sound because he comes off like such a smarmy, bad actor.
Right.
It just is impossible for me to listen to anything he says anymore. He could say 2 + 2 is 4 in that smarmy way, and I'm like, I don't know anymore. I don't know if it is 4.
I can't stand the fucking guy. I just as soon as I see his face, I get angry, and he's gonna win again. It's either that or Archie
No, he's
Bunker
not.
or the TikTok superstar.
The real crime is calling the election.
Why is
tweeted
that a crime though?
I tweeted
think of it
hold on,
this
hold on,
way.
I'll tell you. It was a crime because for a bunch of reasons. One is that a mandate for a Canadian Parliament when someone wins the election is up to 5 years. It's not every 4 years. There's some flexibility there because of this, that, and the other thing. But the idea that you still have 3 years left on that 5-year mandate, and we're in a pandemic, and you're calling an election, knowing, and everybody knows this. A lot of people aren't saying it, especially if they vote Liberal. But everybody knows that if Stephen Harper did this exact same thing, he'd be dictator Stephen Harper. He would be the authoritative crazy man. It would be endless, or it would never end. The Liberals would just be attack right on that issue, and that would be it. And no one in the Liberal camp seems to even want to address it, probably because they're so bad at messaging that PMO is like, no one talk about why we're holding the election. It's so absurd that it's hard to imagine what the strategy sessions were, because what they did is they weighed the polls versus the pandemic, and it showed them that their support is starting to thin out, and the longer they wait, the worse their chances are. So they're like, okay, we'll just have an election during the pandemic.
But isn't that smart? Like, I mean,
It's smart if you're running a party. It's smart if you're running a party, but not smart if you're running a country. It's loyal. You have
his job is to
loyalty.
win, though, right? Like, I can't stand the guy, but I'm always trying to put I'm always trying to control my hatred for the Liberals, by looking at whether or not I would be okay with it from a conservative perspective, or somebody that I was even interested in. I'm actually, my theory on this next election, because the West doesn't determine it, Quebec does. It's funny, they're all in Quebec right now, campaigning.
They're in Ontario today.
Okay. All right. Well, they'll stay over there. They won't even come here because they know none of them.
You guys get hurt by that, don't you? You guys fucking hate the fact that we get
pointless.
to decide who runs the country every single time.
Quebec decides, and we just sit here and watch what you guys do to fucking ruin our country. So, I mean, but who's to choose? So I am going to try to find the worst party, and I'm going to vote for them, and I'm going to promote the fuck out of them on my show. So I don't care how bad they are. I'm just going to look for the worst dick, and then I'm going to promote the shit out of them. I'm going to run my own fucking commercials for them. I'm going to invite these dicks on my show.
So angry, Locke.
Because it's fucking over. Look who we have a choice of, and that dick's going to win again. We're either going to get O'Toole in. Oh my God! Look at this guy. Look at this newt.
he put out a thing called
"Head in the microwave," just about 4 minutes too long.
Listener, what you're missing right now is we put up a picture of Erin O'Toole and the Conservative Party's Canada's recovery plan, which looks like a lot like a Maclean's magazine cover. He's been running and jogging, so you can see what little neck he has now, and he's got a nice tight fucking shirt on, so he feels real good about himself. And good for him, he lost weight. But this turned fucking so many people off. When he did it with it was all about him. It was about him in a tight shirt. And then he puts out this ad fucking magazine, and everybody goes, oh, okay, well, this is all about you in the tight shirt. So it's easy to fucking hate him. It's super easy to hate him. But for everybody out there that's going, I hate all three of these guys, there's a really cool website called Compass Vote. Now, I fucking love this. Sorry, Vote Compass, not Compass Vote, where you can actually go to a CBC website and you can take this 30-question quiz. The 30-question quiz, I took it twice, by the way, today. I'm like, I'll take it again later on. See how I fare. But this is where it put me. This is what it said about me. It said that I am probably liberal, and I am actually a lot closer to the Bloc Québécois, which made me think when I saw this, I'm like, what if we had a Bloc Québécois for the rest of the country? Like, sure, I know that they want their own state.
It looks like you're smack dab in the middle almost.
Right? And then I took it again, and it said, you're a little more progressive and a little more social. But what was really interesting to me were some of the questions that they asked, like this one. Should Canada end its ties to the British monarchy? Strongly agree. This is another one. People should be required to show the proof of COVID-19 identification vaccination in order to attend public events. Again, strongly agree. Canada should rename public spaces which are currently named after historical figures accused of racism. And I'm like, I put it all in and I shook the fucking magic 8 ball, and it's like, yeah, you should probably vote NDP. That's what it told me. It said you're 60% likely to vote for this party. You have 60% of what you said is in common with the New Democrats, and then the Bloc, and then Green Party, Conservative, Liberal, and Maxime's hilarious PPC parties down at the bottom. But at least it kind of gave me and it was shocking, right? Because I'm filling out this stuff, and I'm saying yes to questions, no to questions, strongly agree, strongly disagree. And I'm like, I always identified as somewhat conservative, somewhat liberal. And now when I actually go through and I take this test, it's telling me you probably lean a little more progressive. You're probably more social. You probably lean a little more New Democrat. But then when I think about, okay, well, if I go and vote for the New Democrats, I'm voting for a guy who literally doesn't give two fucks about politics. Like, the only thing he cares about is his hair and doing TikTok videos. That's it.
I took that same test, Dean, just now. Yeah. You told me to go to the website. I went to the website, and it shows here I am a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. I think I took the wrong test. I took the wrong test. I went to the wrong website.
I'm going to take it until instead of it saying you, it says cock.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep taking it. I'll have to take it. 6 or 7. You guys guess?
This is the leadership portion where it says, here's who you think is a good leader. Jagmeet scored 1 out of 10. Maxime, everybody else, Erin O'Toole, Justin Trudeau, 0 out of 10. 0 out of 10.
Big fat goose eggs across
Hey, was
the board
there
almost.
was there a Wexit?
No,
Is there
I
a
didn't see
Wexit leader?
thing. No,
Okay.
nothing about Wexit.
All right.
But check it out because, like, fuck it. If you're this lost, because here's the thing: is that we still have a responsibility to fucking pick a government. When they call an election, no matter how much you hate why it was called, no matter how much you hate the players, you still, I think, have a responsibility to educate yourself as to who you might want to vote for, whether they're
definitely.
independent, Democrat, whatever.
Can you bring me up to speed, Dean? I've been out of Canada a couple of years. So when a guy like Justin Trudeau or Stephen Harper is the prime minister, they can be the prime minister for an indefinite amount of time until they call the election, or who calls the election?
It depends.
5 years.
5 years. So after 5 years, they have to call an election by law.
After 5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
At 5 years.
But he can
has it
keep
been?
winning. Darrin, he can keep winning. Like there's no like he could win 5 times, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no term limit.
No.
Terms limit. They can keep
No,
going.
which is what he's counting on. But I can't get past that part that James was talking about why. You know what I mean? That's why I'll never vote for the guy. Like, I will never vote for Justin Trudeau. I will never vote for the Liberal Party. Because of why. Like, that's the part that I can't. Like, he shut himself out, and it was one of the questions in this thing, is like, him calling the election early, does it make you less likely to vote for him? And the answer is fucking 100% yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know we can mail our ballots in, but the very idea, like the motivation behind it, told me all I need to know about what he wants out of this thing. So he's fucking out. That's just how I feel.
Well,
But
I would
again,
vote for him just
hold
because
on.
he's handsome.
Oh my God, you have no idea how many people will though, Darrin, and that's how he got in
No,
last
he's
time.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
If you get
And the pot campaign, though.
well, he got in because of weed and his hair.
He
I
rode
mean-
that weed platform pretty hard. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, and
So
apparently he had to
every
get-
young kid voted for him.
I've heard that's how the youth vote grew, right? The one thing that I will say about him calling it early is, and this is I was trying to get this point out a little bit earlier, but I may have gotten it may have gotten lost. If let's say I really liked who the leader of our country was right now. Right? Like if I was a fan of that individual and they were doing this to get back and control the country for another 5 years, would I be as upset as I am now because I know it's just a tactic, right? So that's where I'm trying to figure it out in my own mind right now, whether or not, like, James, have you done that? Have you played that like mental ping pong with yourself? If you actually liked the Liberal Party and you liked Justin Trudeau, would you see this as strategic, or would you still be pissed at him for calling an election in the middle of what might turn out to be a fourth wave?
It depends how much you like the Liberals. I'm voting as I have for the last 2 elections. Or no, I voted in 2015, I think, for Nate, or the one before that, the one that Trudeau first won. And then last time I voted NDP, and I'm just going to keep voting NDP until they win in like 50 years, if they win. Because as I like to say, they're the only major party that hasn't had the chance to wreck the family car yet, and I feel like it's probably they're probably due.
How sad is that, though?
I can't
How sad
vote
is
for the
that?
Conservatives or Liberals because of the revolving door of scandals and elections and scandals and elections. I just can't
I'm not upset. I'm not upset at you, James. I'm just saying, how sad is it that
It is sad.
one of the smartest political people we have on this podcast is voting for the party that hasn't blown up the country yet?
That's right.
Like, that's disgusting.
That's their key selling point.
That's their key selling point.
You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong. When
don't
it
know how
told
else
me,
to
when
look
that
at it.
vote compass thing told me that I was probably going to lean NDP, I'm like, I could vote for. I could vote for them. I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
I absolutely could, because of that very thing. It's like, and Locke, to your point, how sad is it that we've had 2 governing parties in the 44 elections we've had in this country's history? 2. It's flip, it's flop. So here's a question. What stops us from starting a common sense party? We're all pretty fucking smart cats. Like
Red
if we
tape.
apply first principles to this, I know it's red tape, but I did some reading on the weekend. All we need are 250 delegates and to fill out a couple of forms. I hate forms, but James, you love forms. You can fill them out.
I don't love forms.
And I'm being serious. Like how hard is it
We
to
should
start
get
a fucking
Bondzee
party?
to fill out the
All right, this
forms.
is a great idea. Dean's on to something here. I'll do all the social media and all the graphics. I'll do all the commercial, like I'll make the commercials, do all the audio recording. James handles all the forms. Dean's the face of the party.
I like that.
Lochlin's the loose cannon, if you will.
I'm just going to fight the other candidates. I'm just going to call debates and just fist fight the other
And
candidates.
then we get Bonds to bring the bus into Ontario and start campaigning around the great province.
There we
He's
go.
a
We got
campaign
it
bus
all.
driver. Yeah. I think we already have a campaign bus.
We all
Sorry,
have a
James.
role.
Oh, that's okay. I had this unofficial think tank thing like a few years ago with me and these 3 political guys and we were trying to come up with like how would we be able to start a party without really starting a party? And so if you ran an independent in every riding, and you know how like every community has like 4 or 5 people where they're like the rest of the community is like, oh, he's really good at business and he really does good with charity. If you can find that guy or girl in every riding and have them all run as independents, like this army of independents, I don't know, it would be pretty interesting to see what would happen because people are voting less. It's like less than 4% of Canadians have a membership to a political party. That's it. 96%.
Yeah, those are the people.
Like,
those are the people. See, Tara's like, you guys got to fucking do it. Start the party. But 4% of people are card-carrying members, and they're fucking all losers too. That's the other thing. Every single person. Wade's in too. Every single person that I've seen defend Trudeau over the past little while, and it's it's every party has its own assholes, but. Is it me or is every single person that defends Trudeau on Twitter like a 45-year-old divorced woman?
Yeah.
Or man.
Named Jason.
Or Cody.
We got this party thing going. We got 2 votes already.
Cody's not listening right now because he's at the gym. It's leg day.
We've done no forms. We've done no social media. We've done no advertising. No radio.
Yeah.
Now we got 2 votes.
You know what's interesting though? Like all jokes aside, what Trudeau.
I'm not joking either.
No, I know. But what the Liberals are doing right now is for this election, they've never done before. And normally in elections, when you have like Margaret Christian or even they want the party.
Get one of the kids to go turn the dish.
That look.
And he bails.
He's here. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, just like they usually get support from moderate conservatives and moderate progressives. And there's no way a moderate conservative is going to vote for the Liberals this time around. They're so woke and they're so hipster that I think that they're either going to get a minority or that the Conservatives will win a minority. I don't think anyone's getting majority again.
Wow. Oh my God. Yeah. Are you saying I shouldn't vote for the biggest dick? Like,
I mean, you were voting for Erin O'Toole.
You know what? You might be onto something. Okay.
He kind of does. For that picture of the magazine, he kind of does look like a penis.
Yeah, no, that magazine doesn't look like McLean's. It looks like Out magazine. And it looks like, look at that. Come on. Does that
you know what he looks like?
He just came.
Looks a lot like fucking Mike Holmes. Like he looks like he's trying to be Mike Holmes. Look at Mike Holmes. There he is. And then look at fucking O'Toole.
Yeah.
He looks like he looks like Jack Layton if he got stung by a bee.
Perfect look for a Grindr profile picture.
Yeah, that could be.
Somebody should send up a Erin O'Toole Grindr account.
What's that?
Let's do it right now.
There's the photo.
Like I'm kind of hot for him. I'm kind of hot for him in that picture. I want to squeeze arm. Don't you?
What is that?
That is a big
it's
old
a forehead. He's got the old forehead vagina going too. Did you notice that?
It's like if we went out to dinner with him, you can put your butter in there for your lobster.
It's like Michael. It's like he got Michael Douglas's chin on his forehead.
It's a big old gasher too.
Oh yeah, that thing is huge.
That looks like a child's ass.
Wow.
You know what though?
Oh, the Catholic priest look in the plastic.
I think the biggest problem right now is
Jesus.
I would be willing to bet that I'm trying to think of a number here. What if you took 100 Canadians and put them in a room and just the average age, like not one specific age group, how many people know that Erin O'Toole is the leader of the Conservative Party?
Oh, a lot, because dude, he's been vilified by the left. Like the one thing that
you know how many people I meet, Dean, that know nothing about politics. They've quit watching the news. I bet you my daughters.
You mean
I
happy
bet
people?
money on it. They don't know. They know who Justin Trudeau is. I bet you they have no idea who Erin O'Toole is. And I bet you they know the leader of the NDP party. I would be willing to bet money on it. I'd bet my car right now that they both couldn't tell me who the name of the Erin O'Toole is. And I don't think that's an uncommon thing. And I think Trudeau knows it. He's like, O'Toole is in the political circles and people who pay attention to news. Of course we know, right? Because we're talking about him all the time. But I there's so many people that have unplugged in the last year. They have completely removed themselves from any news because they don't have the mental capacity to deal with it anymore.
And it's dangerous, dude. Like, I get it because of the disenfranchised voter shit, but like, that's the dangerous part. That's where we're at, because I was thinking about this today. I thought, what if we were all in as a people? What if and I'm being serious about starting a party. What if we just decided to take some first principles and say, fuck it. We're not interested in how things have been done. We're interested in what can be done. Like to James's point earlier, what if we just had the smartest people in each discipline represent our country? Like, what if we had a legitimate engineer be, the infrastructure guy in this country? What if we had a legitimate board certified medical professional with absolutely no bias, no political leanings whatsoever, leading us from a medical perspective? What if we had those people? And what if we had a party that championed that? I don't think it's that hard. And I know people talk about the Maverick Party or the Bloc or the Wild Rose Party or the Brexit bullshit or Wexit bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that. I mean, people that are truly interested in the greater good, because that's what it comes down to. When I boil down all three of these clowns that we're supposed to choose for our next prime minister, let's look at who's in it for the greater good. Trudeau? Nope. He called an election in the heat of a pandemic. He's out. Dickhead McGee? O'Toole? Nope. Today he said, we're not interested in mandatory vaccines for any of our candidates. None. None. Or mandatory vaccines for federal employees. Oh, it's fucking terrible.
I saw the Willy Wonka.
At first, when I watched it, I was like,
in...
this is fucking hilarious. And then I was like, oh my God, this is from their party. This is crazy.
Well, and so that's how he's not interested in the greater good. Jagmeet, who gives a fuck? I mean, he's a lost dog in a sea full of other lost dogs.
I think you got the wrong strategy, Dean. Can I just interrupt?
Please.
I think a better social experiment would be if we just got a bunch of people who were like just completely honest and do give a shit about the country, but actually had no discernible skills in anything.
That's mega.
And then ran them against the current political, threw them into a federal
you're just
election.
talking about regular people that are incapable of lying? Is that what you're saying?
No. Yes, just like a guy like me who just steps up to the podium and goes, listen, I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm doing, but listen, how much worse can it be? Vote me in. And I wonder what kind of fucking support you could garner if you could find enough people like that are just they don't care. Go back, look at I said some horrible shit 2 years ago, and fucking publish it. And no, I'm not fucking apologizing for it. Just have those kind of dicks run right across the country. Hi, I'm Dean Blundell. I got fired from The Edge 7-8 years ago. Don't give a fuck what you think. I'm running for politics because these cocks, they can't do a better job than me. Not only that, I'm going to make myself the Minister of Defense, and I'm going to start shooting missiles at the U.S. Like, just fucking say shit like that. Well, Darrin, we'll invite you back. because you're one of the.
We'll
I was a
start with
drummer
California.
in a fucking punk band, right?
Yeah.
And I had
I don't know
unprotected
shit about
sex on a
Canadian
bus
politics.
for years.
I don't know
Fucking
shit
vote
about
for me.
Canadian politics, but I'm gonna balance the budget.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're in charge of finance. We got a drummer
You're
in
saying,
charge of finance.
You're saying if we went and legitimately found people with very average jobs, very average IQs, just honest, hardworking individuals that had no clue how the fucking system worked, we'd probably be better off because those people would go looking for answers and get in contact with people who actually had the ability to tell people instead of standing there lying to people every week about the way COVID works.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
And you just refused. The only party mandate is no matter what, you have to tell the truth. What are you thinking right now? What are your thoughts on immigration? And then you just let loose on immigration. It doesn't matter what you. I'm very interested. Like in a normal political campaign, in a normal press conference, just an asshole like me, just telling it like it is.
Have you seen the movie Idiocracy? Have you seen the movie
No, I haven't.
Idiocracy?
I've had more than a couple of people tell me to watch that when I've had this conversation.
Yeah, because what they did in the movie is
sorry.
they froze the two most average people they could find for like 200 years and then cryogenically unfroze them. And 200 years later, the two most average people in the world were the two smartest people in the world.
Lochlin, I'd like to be your minister of Roman Catholic churches.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can we freeze me in Lochlin for
Hi,
200
James
years?
is running in wherever the fuck you are in the middle of butt fuck nowhere, Ontario. And what do you think about religion, James? And then you just let loose.
I was telling my doctor the other day that I thought I was having a bird toast. Turns out it was St. Hedwig's just down the street there. I don't know. Like, it would be fun for me to write content around it, but yeah, Lochlin, I think honestly that's going to attract a lot of like People Party of Canada type people. The idea
But
would Dean be the prime minister? Would Dean be the guy? We'd all work for Dean.
Oh yeah. You know what though? I honestly think we're getting to a point where
This guy, how do I do it? This
Naked Cheese Whiz wants the CRTC. Done. A guy named Naked Cheese Whiz needs to run the CRTC.
You can have the CRTC.
I think we're getting done. I think we're getting closer and closer and closer to a point in history where a political look what happened in the States. You're telling me that Trump didn't win because you're telling me Trump won because he actually had a campaign? No. Trump won because everybody that went into the polls went, all right, it's time to light this fucker on fire. Trump.
Exactly.
And and we're getting close to that in Canada. Another 4 years of the drama queen here, and we are going to be talking. We're going to be. Oh yeah, my God! There's going to be a candidate that's going to cut through. That's going to just stand up to a podium and go, I haven't got a fucking clue what I want. Let's burn this fucker down. What else you got?
Yeah.
You got Archie Bunker here, or the TikTok star, or you want another 4 years of the drama queen? No, vote for me. And that guy's going to have a run. He's going to get a run.
We're all joking here, but there's a lot of kernels of truth in what you're saying. If you came out and said, I don't give a shit. I don't know anything about politics. I'm just a normal dude who likes to watch hockey and have drinks, and I talk on the radio. But I love this country, and I like to employ common sense. I think a lot of people across the country will go, I like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have anybody that
CBC, I'm going to fucking
should.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I would show up to debates half in the bag. I've had 12 beers, and I'm still going to kill this fucking debate.
I'll show up with a beer.
Hey, don't mind me. Hold on.
Also, a lot of people
You're not wrong.
A lot of people don't want to run because they don't want their past, which they didn't think was worth coming back to haunt them. Like, honestly, I don't think I'd run for public office. I don't even know.
I best not
I don't
run
even
for
know
prime
what's out
minister.
there. There's some chat message out there from 12, 13 years ago that I'm probably forgetting of entirely.
Chat message? Dude,
whatever,
we've got about 15 examples of the last 2 weeks of podcasts that would get you into trouble.
Right, there you go. Right? So, who's going to run?
You just threatened to burn down a local church. I'm thinking that might come up if you legitimately ran.
All the MPs are going to be like virgins. You know,
Yeah,
like,
dude,
who still live
you
with their
threatened to
parents?
burn churches down for a whole month live on this show, so it's
Listen.
not like you have anywhere to hide.
I hope they all burn to the ground, but that has nothing to do with this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
As long as no one's in the church when it burns down.
Thank you for clearing that up, Darrin.
You can burn the church down.
Dean's a little hesitant. It
There's
depends.
No one's in it. Make sure no one's
Maybe
in
that dirty father. You know.
Yeah. So
I can't be the
if
prime
we're
minister.
gonna
I've done a lot
if
of
we're
things.
starting a political party here, and James is in charge of all the churches,
And the forums. He's doing the forums.
Locke,
I'm not
I'll
the
be the
archdiocese.
prime minister.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about it. I'm going to be the prime minister. Locke, you're going to be deputy prime minister, right?
And
So
finance. I want
And
finance.
finance. Bondzee, you're going to be the heritage, sport, and culture minister, which will be a lot of fun.
And
Yeah.
director of transportation.
And
Tourism.
director of tourism and transportation. Because
Darrin's in charge of the military because
Yeah,
he's
big
the
time.
only American on the panel.
No, I want media. I want media and entertainment.
dude, we already gave CRTC to some guy named Positive Mike. You can't have it.
Naked Cheese Whiz got it.
Oh, Naked
He'll be
Cheese
my-
Whiz got it?
Nick and Cheese goes, no, he'll be my employee. He'll work under me.
Minister of Culture.
Yeah. Minister of Culture, Darrin Pfeiffer.
Wait, Minister of Pronouns. How's that? Minister of Pronouns. We have a pronoun.
He, she, they,
Man.
him, her.
Woo. We
No,
can do this, you know.
we desperately need some more. I mean, common
New
sense
ideas.
That
Yeah.
I swear to God, it doesn't even matter what party. If
Well,
if
dude,
there
why
was
don't we
just
like,
somebody
listen,
that stepped up
Locke,
and said, "Listen,
Locke,
I'm going to be brutally
you're
honest with
talking
you."
dude, you're talking about it now, and you're 51. I'm 48. We have some clout. There's no reason why we shouldn't look into doing this, and I'm being fucking 100% serious. Why wouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Do you know how many fucking bright people would go, yeah, I want to get on that train with those guys because they're actually concerned about the future of this country. They're not concerned about their friends at SNC Lavalin, and they're not concerned about their political futures.
Yeah.
Because I
We have no friends. I
No.
mean, that's the way to start this whole thing, right? That no one has any influence
Yeah.
over us.
None, zero.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I love.
How long would it take though before you start taking the backdoor 6 payments and you're like, and then all of a sudden you're all just one of them again? Because we know that's how
They
it
wouldn't
works.
have enough,
With,
they
Oh,
wouldn't
come
have
on.
enough power. You wouldn't have enough
It would
power.
take a week.
that's true.
It would take
6
a week,
months.
but I would be honest with it.
They
Why
would
am
still
I
try though,
holding
James.
a Bud Light?
They would still
Because
try.
fucking Labatt gave me a box of beer today. They gave
Yeah.
me a 48 pack.
I'm drinking
And
liquid
this campaign-
water.
Yeah,
because it's
this
free.
campaign is
And it's really
sponsored
good.
by Labatt and Bud Light. Thank you very much. Listen,
Yeah.
also, you know what? One of my major campaign contributors would be somebody who makes beef jerky, and I would tell everybody
Yeah.
right then and there.
And
Arby's,
also Locke.
come on board,
Locke.
Arby's.
Locke, how would you feel-
I can't believe Arby's isn't on board already. Come on. How are they not, Lochlin? You bring them up every podcast, number 3 podcast in Canada. How is
Number 2.
Arby's not your number 1 sponsor, dude?
Yeah,
Are we number 2 now? Is this number 2?
I think
It's because
so.
we have standards, Bondzee. That's the reason.
fuck
Yeah, I
Shame.
guess.
Lachlan, I got a question. How would you feel if Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment gave us a lot of money to promote our party, but you had to like promote the Maple Leafs as Canada's team? Is that something you
You
would
better
do?
fucking do it.
For
We
money?
need the money.
Oh yeah,
They were going
Yeah,
to write
you'd
a check
have
for
to.
like $5 million, but we got to promote the Leafs.
someone has to put gas in the van that we're driving across the country. And if I got a horror team,
Yeah.
We don't need
Yeah,
a van. We
yeah.
got a bus. Bonds has got a
Gas
bus.
on the bus. Diesel on the bus ain't cheap either, mister.
Yeah.
Bondzee actually,
onto something
to
here.
much to my surprise, Bondzee, our Minister of Culture and Tourism, tried out for the
Can't believe I didn't
LPGA
get
yesterday.
finance.
you didn't.
Yeah, he tried out for the LPGA. He put this tweet out. Well, just when tripping with Bondzee couldn't get weirder, I have an audition to caddie for an LPGA touring pro to help secure her card at Q School. Let's go. I'm not only going to get the gig, I'm going to help her win the damn thing and jump in the famous Dinosaur Pond. And then there's a picture of Bondzee, and he's wearing all red, and he's excited. And then he puts this picture out today of him and this lovely young lady he's caddying for, and he said, I'm going to dish on how it went today That woman was trying to get her qualifying card, right? She was trying to get on the LPGA tour, and you caddied for her just on a whim. How did it go, dude?
Yeah, so it was fabulous. I met her yesterday. Lovely
Yeah.
lady. She's from Brazil. And so today was a practice round. And it starts Thursday. The qualifying, it's 4 rounds. And I had a great round with her today. We clicked, we gelled. She appreciated what I brought to and just helped out. She asked me some of the, I played a few rounds on that course. I'm not super versed on it, but I played yesterday afternoon, and then I went out and did the course afterwards and took notes for her. And so listen, I got the gig with her for this upcoming tournament, this Q School qualifier, but I might
You're not allowed to talk.
I might not be allowed to do it because I am not vaccinated, and so
And they found out about the $40 hooker.
no, you have to be. So there's some rules to this. If Dean would stop laughing, there's some rules to this.
I can't stop laughing because I've been telling you, and Lachlan's been telling you, and James has been telling you for 3 to 4 fucking months. Just go get vaccinated. You don't know how your life's going to go. And so you go there, you get the gig, and they say you can't come back because you're not vaccinated.
Okay, no. Here, let me finish for a second, Locke. Here's the deal. I said I was going to go get vaccinated. I said I would do it. I got sick. I have just gotten over my you have to wait 14 days. So I just passed that. So I am going to get vaccinated. I'm still on track with that. Okay. But I am allowed to go and get a negative COVID. Is it a PCF test? PCR. If I get the rapid test, if I get that, and it has to be within the 96 hours of leading up to the tournament of a negative COVID test, I am allowed to caddy for her. So the way I left it with her today, I am hired if I can get a negative COVID test and the LPGA Tour accepts it as part of their protocol. So,
just a whole bunch of fucking around that you don't need in your life. What did she shoot today? First of all,
well, I only caddied for her for 9 holes because it was an audition, and we left it at that because I've never.
I don't need to know that. What'd she shoot? 9 holes?
She was even par after 9 holes with me.
Fuck, it's unbelievable.
She is she can hit the ball. She is about the size of a toothpick. Beautiful Brazilian lady. And it's amazing that she can hit the ball as far as she does and as smooth as she does for being so small, but she gets some power, and because she's so small, she's pretty steady down the middle. Her short game is unbelievable, and her putting is. Her iron work is questionable, or long irons.
Did you tell her that? Did you tell her that on the course? Did you say,
No.
hey, listen, you could do some work on your iron game?
I didn't have to tell her. She knows where her weakness is. And listen, we really did gel today, and it was pretty cool. I hope to have the opportunity.
Did you creep her out at all? Did you? Because I saw a picture of her, and I'm like, oh, she's somewhat attractive, and I'm like, oh, is it probably going to creep her out in the first 6 holes? But no, you're good.
She is. She has a fiance, and so there's no.
That doesn't necessarily mean you didn't creep her out. Just based on her status in the relationship, that doesn't mean that Bondzee didn't.
Hey, look, you never know.
Bondzee,
You never know what a
don't have a
caddy
future with her.
LPGA Tour Pro relationship could turn into. Maybe it'll be.
Doesn't mean you don't have a future with her, man. Because listen, you're going to soon to be working for the federal government with this common sense party, Dean Blundell.
Exactly.
Common sense party. I don't think her fiance works for the federal government.
That's right.
So you're in, buddy. You're in.
You know what,
She's
Bondzee?
also
All kidding
beautiful.
aside,
I
She's
just would
also-
love the gig.
She's also beautiful and Brazilian. Ask her if she knows any $80 hookers.
Listen, I didn't get a $40 hooker. It was the deposit.
right.
Okay.
You failed.
Okay.
You failed.
how much did you end up paying for the hooker? $40.
Yeah, I'll pay you in advance.
From the end of time, you are going to be known as the guy that got a $40 hooker, and she didn't even come to the bus. No, I just want to make sure you hear something out loud. How long ago did you have COVID?
A year and a half ago.
No. This latest bout of COVID, the second time.
That wasn't COVID. It's been that was a month, 3 weeks ago.
Okay,
3 weeks
all right.
ago, and I had to wait.
You should wait just because I think you had COVID again. I think you've gotten it twice now. And I know you didn't get tested and all that shit, but I think you caught COVID. And and everybody that's talked to you or been around you on this podcast all thinks you had COVID as well. Yeah. You need to be careful about the vaccine. The next one you get, just give yourself another couple of weeks, because my daughter's boyfriend got COVID, and then he was going to go get the vaccine, and it was literally within the 2-week frame, and he was pretty sick from COVID. Comparatively speaking to a lot of, and for a young guy too, he was pretty sick. And then I remember telling him, I've heard, and it's not official, but I have heard some doctors are saying you got to wait a little bit of time before you get the vaccine. Like
it's like 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks,
6 weeks, right? Okay. And he didn't, because he went to the doctor after I said, don't listen to me, but ask your doctor. And the doctor's like, no, go get the vaccine right now. And so he works up north and everything like that. So they were wanting to get him vaccinated. And then he fucking got vaccinated, and he was laid out, dude, for 3-4 days. He couldn't fucking move. And he was stuck up north. We had to get somebody to deliver groceries to him. And I have another story too. My boss, same thing. He had COVID, and then he went to get the shot because he was already scheduled to get the shot, but he got COVID a couple of weeks, and he had no problems with COVID. Like he said, it was like, I knew I had it, but I didn't have any problems with it at all, and tested positive. 2 weeks later, gets the vaccine, and it fucking walloped him. And he was so pissed off because I told him at the same time. I said, you might want to wait before you get the vaccine, because it's making people really sick. They take it really quick on the back end of COVID. So
did he live, your boss?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
Well, and unfortunately, Locke is fired starting tomorrow.
He's in radio. That's not unfortunate at all.
It would have been funny if COVID would have killed him, but it would have been even funnier if the vaccine had.
Doesn't matter, Locke. You're going to be the vice prime minister? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, I'm part of this common sense party.
Yeah,
common sense party, yeah.
I will wait a little bit longer. I still do have like a touch of a cough. I mean, I cough like no, I cough like that maybe 5-6 times a day.
Yeah, but you've had it for a fucking month and a half, bud. Like it's and you don't have. Here's the thing: so you tell us you don't have COVID. You never got tested.
No, so I was gonna say, I have to go get the test. I'll find out within. Maybe she hasn't messaged yet. She's going to speak to the LPGA.
I don't think you should go back to the massage parlor for the vaccine.
If I can get
a bad idea.
If I can get, then I'll find out if I get the COVID test and it's negative, then I never had it. So that'd be great. And then if I did have it, or I still do have the antibody stuff in me, then I won't be able to do it, obviously. But at least this way, I think it'll all work out that we're going to find out whether Bondzee had or didn't.
I have some
COVID.
questions. Okay, I'm already bored of this conversation. I have a couple questions about sorry, I just got to be honest. Bored. But how much does an LPGA caddy make? Like, what do you stand to take home for a tournament with, if let's say you go into the Dinah Shore tournament or the Nabisco shredded wheat tournament or the Dinty's flour tournament? What are you getting paid?
Right now, $200 a day.
That's not
bad. Is the going rate for a fresh newbie? I'll take that all day long. It's
$200 a day. But what happens if she wins? Do you get a cut of the winnings?
Of course.
What's the percentage?
10% is the going rate for caddies on tour. You get 10% of the winnings.
Huh. And I read that the next ladies tournament is like 1.8 million is the purse for the next one. So if she wins 1.6 million, well, let's say she wins 1 million, you get 10%. You get $100,000 plus that $200.
Yeah, your daily rate, and whatever. If it turned into a full-time gig, it might even be more than $200 a day. But right now, as a noob, that's what I'm being paid. If it works out for this week. So
what do you bring to the table for this gig?
Great question.
Are you a decent golfer?
Yeah, I'm a very decent golfer. I play a lot, and I have a knowledge. I've been playing since I was a kid. And it's funny on this tour to even I don't even have to leg it. I've got
legs, I got arms, I got a head.
We get to drive carts. So I'm her personal driver. I don't even have to walk and lug her bag. I get to drive around in a cart. And
that's because you're living in Satan's ass right now. What's the temperature there?
I rake the bunkers. I fix her divots.
Yeah, and you fix her divots?
Yeah, I fix her divots. I rake the bunkers. I fill in
on
the fairways. And clean her clubs, of course.
But
I get her water before the round. I do all the essentials.
Are you like, hold on a second? I think this is more of a 5-iron. Or if she goes for a 3-iron, it's like, oh, this might be a 5. Are you giving her advice like that?
Yeah, well, when we started today, it was, as a newbie, I didn't want to jump right in, and I don't know her irons per yardage, right? So at first it was more I'd pace off the distance for her, and then I'd tell her what the yardage is. She'd be go, okay, that for me, that's in this X iron. So I'd grab it out of the bag, give it to her. And
dude, what's her name?
Her name's Daniela.
What's her last name?
I have no idea. We are on a first name basis.
Get that.
Daniela. I think I did hear. I think it might be Keurig.
Is it Daniela Darkia? Is that her name?
Yeah, I think that's it. I was going to say Darkia or Dark.
Yeah, I got her. I got her right here. No, that's Daniela Murray. No, Daniela. Lacabelli. Is that it? Lacabelli?
No, it wasn't. Her last name's not that long.
Shouldn't you know her name?
Well, we only met last night. I literally met her at 8:00 this morning. She said, meet me on the green at 8. We met. We talked for a bit. We got in the cart and off we went. And then we just chatted all day. And I kept her. We laughed a bunch. She asked what I did and I'm up to. I told her all about this.
Is this her?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But she looks very familiar to that.
Hey, let me ask you.
You know what? That might be her that might be her actually. Go back when she was a little younger.
Dude, you spent the entire day with her. You have no idea who it is? Is that her?
She's definitely Spanish.
That's not her. No, she's from Brazil, but that's not her.
It's pretty awesome though. Like the fact that you got to caddy in like a pro event.
No,
doesn't matter that it's a women's event.
Very cool.
It was a special experience today. We really did hit it off. If this works out, if she qualifies to move on to round 2 to secure her card again, that'll be in Florida in November, and I'm sure she would have me on the bag if she qualifies this weekend and I'm there. She really does want me there. We did chat about it. Even after me leaving today, she messaged me and said, hey, you did a really great job today. Thank you very much. I hope I can work this out with the LPGA if you get a negative test, and we'll see what happens. So that's where we're at.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Let me ask you something really honest question. Did you find yourself scoping her out a little bit?
Well, dude, I mean, she's beautiful. She has legs to die for. They're really long. But not only her, listen, I think if this doesn't work out, I'm going back there to pedal my ass for the next tournament or whatever. Because I'm a free agent as a caddy. There's
you're unemployed.
A plethora of beautiful women out there on the tour trying to acquire their status card for next year. So it could go both ways. I could get a job and
I have a technique when I'm checking out girls. If I'm talking to them and I'm around them, I will look them directly in the eye and will not deviate from looking during the conversation. But when they turn away, I'll get a quick look. But when you're looking at it,
over and putting her tee in the ground and putting her and her bum's wiggling a bit right before the putt. I mean, you got to look as a guy. I mean,
what a professional!
Don't disrespect. Listen, it's all.
You might be listening.
I noticed right away she had a wedding or a monster ring on, and I knew that was off the table, and that wasn't what I was there for today. I was very professional. And I thought I did a really good job.
You just took part in a little light leering as the round went on. I mean, it was
nothing wrong
with it. Who doesn't leer from time to time?
Yeah.
That's why he's the Heritage and Cultural Minister.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I think we're onto something with this party. By the way, we had a lot of people go,
too.
"Fuck, do it, do it." You got to have your own party.
So James
Anyway.
had some internet issues, I suppose.
Yes, James bailed. His internet sucks, so
I'm
we'll
gonna
have him back
Venmo him
tomorrow.
I'll Venmo him like $50.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, he'd love that. He loves you. You guys get along well.
Internet paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys were in the same room for one of these, guaranteed you'd fight.
I don't think so.
I don't know if James should be in the same room with anybody in this environment. I think Zoom is a really good idea for James.
Unless he's on shrooms, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I don't think.
Friendly if
I don't
he's on
think that-
shrooms.
I don't think it's a shrooms conversation. I just think it's a human nature conversation.
Is it a hygiene conversation?
No, I think James has like people that he jives with and people that he doesn't. And I think the people that he jives with generally, he takes a while for him to warm up to you. And so I think he likes most of us. I don't think he likes some of us.
I think he tolerates some.
Most. He's not a tolerant man.
No, he barely tolerates
us
people in general.
It took a hot minute for James to come around to Bondzee. If you remember at the beginning when I first joined this, James couldn't stand me. He was annoyed. He'd look at it, just his look on the camera and staring at me.
Listen, I love you. I love you, but you are, and I can see how you're
a lot of
very
work.
Fucking annoying. Yeah, you're a ton of work.
Yeah, you're a ton of work, Bondzee, but it's why we love you. I mean,
but it's worth it.
I think
people love me.
I think James will benefit moving forward if broadcasting moves into this realm entirely, where you're in a room by yourself and you don't have the ability for human contact.
Yeah, because he gets so like I used to be like that. I used to get really annoyed by people like Darrin. Darrin is a lot of work.
Yeah,
Bondzee's a lot of work.
Wait.
Oh yeah, dude, you're fucking tons of work. Like, and I love you. Oh yeah,
hold on. Can you define work?
Yeah. Okay. So like, hey, the podcast's at 3:00, and then you're like, yeah, I'll be there, and it's like 3:20 rolls around, and all of a sudden you pop in, and your microphone's not working, and you're like trying to get shit going,
or it's Saturday, and you're asking for the link.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's 2 days away, dude, not today, right? So like, and Bondzee too to some extent.
Work.
That's work. Oh, it is for me. Yeah. I don't like.
I'm way different than that. I'm not hard work that way.
I've been on time for 2 weeks straight. I want some credit, motherfucker.
Way to go. Still no microphone. So we'll try and get that.
I got a microphone. It's just old. Look at that.
Yeah, I know, but you just got to fucking plug it in. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm tired of asking you to plug your microphone in. I know, but you got another microphone right there, and it looks like it works.
James doesn't. Okay, here's another example of James. James doesn't want to wear headphones because he doesn't like the way his head looks with headphones on. I mean, like, holy shit. I can't even imagine working with a guy like that.
Yeah, he doesn't like the way his head's shaped. Here's a question, because we've been ripping on Bond. Like, I think you and I are probably better than everybody else on the show, Lochlin, for many reasons.
Well, no, it's not even about that. Listen, I know I'm a fucking ton of work. Trust me. Ask anybody that's lived with me. Like, I am. Anybody who spends any amount of time in a room with me is a saint.
Yeah,
like they're a different human being, and I totally get that. I feel lucky, and actually, it's kind of refreshing working with people that are far more annoying than me. Thank you, Darrin.
I thank you, Darrin.
Naked Cheese Whiz says, "Nah, you only need to worry about James if you're at church." That's so true. Sorry, Bondzee, what were you saying?
No, I just wanted to thank Darrin personally, because you've kind of taken away some of they're always picking on me and coming at me, but you've taken some of the shrapnel today. So thank you as well, buddy, for that. Appreciate it. I feel we're one.
I'm the sponge in this new political party. I will.
We're work apparently.
I will suck up the hate and absorb it.
Oh fuck! I don't think, Dean, you should walk away from any blame here. You're a fucking ton of work too. Like, I mean, think about the relationship. Your philosophy on relationships. Like every time you talk about your like where you're at and what you're looking for, I laugh. I love it because I can't even imagine a woman trying to
Finish that
I
sentence.
can't even imagine like
Finish that
you
sentence.
out for dinner with a date and you say the shit that you say about relationships. You need to videotape that the next time you do that because
Lon, I
it's
think there's
remarkable.
Two Deans. I think there's two Deans. I think there's a Dean that we know and love. You know, the lot of work Dean. Then there's the romantic go on a date and say all the right things, Dean.
No, I don't think there is that Dean.
no.
That Dean
He's
doesn't
denying-
exist, Darrin.
No, it does. He's denying
No.
it. He's full of crap. He's denying
No.
it, but hey,
I
he
am
loves
totally
it. He
that
opens
guy.
The door. He puts on
You-
cologne. He holds her hand.
Got it.
Yeah.
Darrin,
He's
I'm
got to
that
have a
guy.
touch of a soft side to him.
I'm
Come
that
on,
guy.
a little bit.
In this
Thank
setting,
you, Bondzee.
I'm cock of the walk and I'm in control of the house. And as soon as I go upstairs, it's all fucking over. That's me. That's not Dean. Dean's the guy, he's the guy that sits down with the girl and goes, listen, today I don't want you to talk to me because you're annoying. Like that's
on a date.
Dean.
On a date.
That's Dean.
Yeah, that's Dean.
Listen, I
It
know you had this
isn't.
whole idea for a vacation,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Dean's on a date.
I just
and
want to
he's like,
stay home and avoid you
Dean's on a date,
because
he's
you're
staring at
really
his phone.
annoying today. And that's Dean.
Yeah.
And the girl goes,
You're not wrong.
Excuse me, Dean. Why are you on your phone? I'm checking the score. Shut up.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. In a relationship, especially when I'll let me turn up the music for you guys here today. In a relation, I've got some relationship music. I am a lot of work. I am.
Yeah.
I'm a ton of work.
And that's
I'm a lot
okay.
of work. But I'm only a lot of work because I expect the same thing I give, right? And so I expect common sense in a discussion. I don't expect anger. I don't expect emotion. So when I get together, and Jack Nicholson said it best. Jack Nicholson said it best. He said, it was a woman in As Good as It Gets. She's like, how do you write women so well? And he goes, I think of a man and I remove accountability and common sense. And I don't feel that way about women. However, I do feel that way about my last two relationships. Therefore, now we're at a position where, okay, I'm 2 for 2 with Shitsville here. So what do you want to do? Like, what do you want out of life? And so what I've realized is that this is going to sound slightly egotistical. I need someone that can keep up with me. I haven't found that yet. So I find, like, you know how we were having a conversation earlier? I think Bondzee was talking and I got instantly bored. And I said, boring? Can we move on to something else because I'm bored? That's how I am. I've got ADHD when it comes to excitement in a friendship or a relationship. And so what happens is after those two relationships, I'm like, I'm good. Do I want to drag someone else into my life and who's going to complicate it
Their
and tell
lives
me,
miserable.
yeah, make my life fucking miserable? Where do you want to go eat? I don't know. You pick. Well, I asked you. Yeah, but I'm not interested in picking tonight. You pick because I've had a hard day or a long day. Okay, so I pick this place. I don't want to go there. Okay, so where do you want to go? I want to go somewhere else. Okay, so why don't you tell me where you want to go? No, you can still pick. Well, I just did, and you said no to that. I am not interested in that at all. To me, that's like a fucking waste of time. Waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy, waste of my goodwill. So until I am ready to get into a relationship with someone that has the same relationship competence that I think I have,
You know what?
I have no
Dean?
interest. Like the other day, I had a nice lady who I hang out with, and we were talking, and she was like, you know what, we should go here one day. And I go, in public?
Wow.
She
that
goes,
must have hurt her feelings, Dean.
How'd that
And I
go?
go, I'm not ready to go out in public with anybody yet,
That
to
hurt
be
her
honest with you.
feelings.
So.
That made her feel.
And you know what? And it did, and I explained it to her, and so it's easier for me just to kind of be a lone wolf in this.
You need to get a
forest of
dog.
wolves.
I think you should get a
Yeah.
dog.
Start
You
with a
need to talk
dog.
Yeah.
You never
Start with a
though,
dog.
Darrin. Though, I mean, I'm not giving up on love for Dean. I think there might be
What the
somebody
fuck are you
else.
talking about? What are you talking about giving up on love? Love does not exist for anybody. It's like you commit to doing something and you stay the course because you can fucking
You're onto
put up with
something.
that person. Don't tell me you fucking madly in love. You and your wife. Are you madly in love after 30 years?
I love
Madly
my
in
wife. I actually do.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, that's-
But listen, and I have made
Write that down.
every mistake known to mankind
Yeah.
Not giving up
with
on
respect to my relationship
Poor
with
Dean.
my wife.
love. Yeah.
And I have
Giving
to
up on love.
negotiate
Yeah.
the relationship waters with my wife to this day. And you're not wrong, Dean. It's exhausting.
Love is exhausting. You're right. No, it is.
It is. It
It's hard,
absolutely.
man. I'm married, and it's fucking hard as shit.
It is hard. It's very difficult.
You're fucking stupid, Darren.
it's
You're
on-
stupid.
It's ongoing.
You got married again. You got married
did.
again.
I
That's
did.
fucking
I did.
stupid to me. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. When I heard that you got married again, I was like, what a fucking idiot. What a stupid
Yeah.
fucking idiot. Why would he go in and do it again? Why would you
knows?
go, oh, I'm going to make another legally binding agreement based on a fucking bet? Great idea.
Don't know.
I have no
And I'm
respect
okay
for
with you
you.
getting married again, Darren.
I have no answer.
I'm okay with you getting married.
It's
all
here's-
good.
here's the
Well,
knife.
ask him.
I took the
Are you
knife out
happy
of
you
my
got married
heart,
again? Are you
and I
happy you
put
got
it
married
right
again?
back. I am.
Dude.
She's actually really great, and I love her daughter, and we get along great. We've got a great little.
I
family.
remember working on the radio with you, Darren, 15 years ago, where you said the same thing about your ex-wife.
Well, listen, just because he's be able to figure out how to lie to himself doesn't mean he's a bad person.
And then there's Gypsy Bondzee, and I'm happy being this gypsy.
Oh,
You
you
call
did,
me
you,
what
you
you
know
will,
what?
but-
Cork it, Bondzee. You fucking,
living
you're
in
gonna
fuck
be as soon as you fucking end up betting. As soon as somebody starts paying
You're
attention
fucked.
to your dick for more than fucking a day,
dude.
you
Yep.
will be walking down the aisle in fucking Vegas, and you'll be hooked. Yeah,
I
you've got
disagree.
that written all over you right now.
No,
You've
I
got that
disagree.
written all over you. Yeah,
I've
you
got
corked it.
such a different focus, and I'm so driven on the other side of things. Women are the last thing on my mind. All jokes aside,
You
I
have
would
gone
love
out
to
of
get,
your way
I would
to
love to
buy
get
a
a blowjob.
$40
I would
hooker.
love to get a handy. I would love to fuck a hooker right now, for Christ's sakes. But that's why you pay for them. You pay for them not for the sex. You pay for them to go the fuck home and leave. I've got goals, mister. I just want a blowjob. That's it.
goals, mister.
I've got goals. I just want a blowy and then beat it because I don't
A
have
blowy,
time for you.
a blowy, and a
Argue
goey.
about
Blowy
Arby's
and
or
goey.
fucking McDonald's.
Blowy
Yeah,
and goey.
right
roll me
now.
McGomey and beat it.
Dean, mark
Yeah,
this
buddy.
day down. What date is
Yeah.
it? August
can mark-
15th? August 16th. Bondzee, before the year is up, before
Yeah.
August 16th next year,
They'll
some
be
nice
married.
little filly is going to work her way onto that bus, and he's going to end up marrying that girl and having
Yeah.
kids and buying a
What?
house in Austin. He's moving back to Texas. I'm telling you,
You are.
right now.
You're moving to Bastrop, Texas, with your
Would
your
love-
seriously questionable new relationship.
Hey,
And
I would
she is
love
going to be into
Texas-
some
Love it.
awful
Texas would
stuff.
be a bad home.
Salad
If it
tossing.
is with a female, I will not marry again, and kids are off the table because I can't. So, but listen, unless I have made it on something astronomical like this big, I'm not looking for a relationship or love. I got.
You're
I got
lying.
these
You're
two
so
right
full
here.
of shit. It's
No.
unfucking believable.
I've been single
Bondzee.
for 5 years. Why am I lying all of a sudden?
Bondzee, let me
'Cause I said-
let me calm you down. You're about to be a member of a major Canadian political party.
Major.
You are going to have hookers knocking on your limo left,
Yeah.
right, and center. So don't even sweat.
You know, it's funny.
Is
It's
this
funny.
campsite 12?
We're gonna have girls. We're gonna have girls knocking on our offices and our buses and our doors for at least 5 years. It's coming, guys. It's coming.
Is this campsite 12? Bondzee, you know when you're in our government, when you're in our government, you can't live at a campsite, right?
You're going to need a permanent residence.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll
And
find
Range,
one.
Range
Don't worry.
Road 113, Palm Desert, campsite 12 is probably not.
Doesn't matter about it. You can use one of ours. We'll forward it
Yeah.
over.
Thanks, Fife.
You're going to need to be able
I'll
to
do that for you.
collect
Bondzee.
mail.
Campsite
That's the
number.
kind of guy I am.
Can you have a national security meeting on your bus?
I'll be at the
Yeah.
campsite of America suite.
For sure.
Oh my
Got
God,
Secret
that's
Service
funny.
outside the bus.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You are a gypsy, Bondzee. You are a gypsy.
I gotta go,
figured that
guys.
out.
I gotta get out of here.
See you, buddy.
Darren,
Great to see
it's
you.
good seeing you,
Darren.
buddy.
Good seeing
Good
you.
I'm
seeing you,
okay with
brother.
you lying to yourself as long as you're happy. It's all good, buddy. Yeah.
So I should take it off?
No. Keep it on. No.
Keep it on. Dude,
No.
those
On
are
a different
props.
finger, maybe?
That's a prop. Don't worry about it. You're all right.
I'm in love. Leave me alone.
I know why you did it. I know why you
Whatever.
did it. Listen,
Oh,
I'd
it's
be a
love.
wreck without my wife. I'd be dead in a week.
Hey,
I would have.
hey, guys. Bus Force One. that's how about this? How about this one? Camp David.
Camp Bondzee.
Camp Bondzee. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh,
So fucked, dude.
Bus Force One is pretty good.
You'd be
That's a
awesome.
winner.
Bus Force One is the winner of this show.
Thanks, boys.
I like how we ended this by turning on Bondzee, though.
I know.
Yeah, thanks
guys
for
started-
me.
Do you notice
I'm
what happened
used
here
to it.
today too? Everyone, stop talking. I'm talking. Do you notice what happened here today too? You guys, like Locke and I, started beating up on James a bit, and then we beat up on Bondzee a bit, and then we beat up on Darrin a bit, and then we beat up on Locke a bit, and then you guys tried to turn the tide on me. And the only thing you have on me is that I'm not willing to subject myself to a relationship with someone with mental illness. I'm good with that.
All right, fair enough.
That's going to happen every time. I lay my shit on the table. I did a post this weekend about how much I used to drink and how much life is better now and about getting better as an individual and a human being. I lay my shit on the table. You guys got nothing on me. Nothing. That's the great part about being me. We still have so much to figure out about Bondzee. Like he could be arrested just by a story that he tells on this podcast in the near future.
Yeah. He's a coal mine. We just got to keep digging. Yeah.
Thanks, boys.
All right, fellas.
Thank you, boys.
All right,
I
talk to
may
you
or
soon.
may not be here tomorrow.
We just love the fact that you surprise us like this.
It's hit and miss.
Bondzee, I love you. Great to see you. Great to see you too, Locke. Great to see Darrin and James for as long as he was here. We have some interpersonal stuff to do here at the show. James doesn't like Darrin. Darrin doesn't like James. Or maybe they like each other. I don't know. Nor do I care. It's a great part about being me. I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't care about this. I care about me and being a happy individual. And I'm happy today. You know why I'm happy? Because the worst thing to happen to me today is my friends made fun of me for being smart. Got it all made. Bonds? Isn't that pretty much what happened?
I
Bonds?
love it. Yeah, it's a great way to end it. I lost connection there for a minute, but no, I thought
Just wanted to have him in. Can bring him in again. Boom. There he is.
there he goes.
Bondzee. You're still there. Good to see you, buddy. Bonzarelli. Love him. My friends. That's what friends do. You bust each other's chops. You have some fun. You roll the fucking dice. You mix it up and you see what happens. We got each other's backs, though. We're all weird in some of our own ways. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for being part of the podcast. Don't forget, this music's killing me. You can join us at deanblundell.com. Sign up for a newsletter there. It's a nice one right there. Ian's bored. He says he's bored. I didn't tell you to log on to the podcast, shithead. Have a great day. Don't forget to take advantage of our sponsors' offers, including Gitch's promo code Gitch and then the number 3. EdsFineImports.com has Gitch. Make sure you get your Gitch from EdsFineImports.com. Domination. Our friends over at Domination make it easy for you to do content. DMNTN.com. Try them out today. It's AI for a content producer, gaming, streaming, doesn't matter. They got you covered. Also, EasyAutoFinancial.ca. They get you a car and your financing, and it doesn't cost you a dime, and there's no obligation. It's turnkey if you're looking for a car. Bad credit, good credit, doesn't matter. They will get you what you want 100% of the time and send you to the person that has the car that you want 100% of the time. Go to EasyAutoFinancial.ca. Also, hi to our friends at Blue Microphones. We use Blue Microphones. You can do the same. The MoFi headphones and, of course, the Blue Yeti X's. They've got the old school Yetis. They got bottle cap mics. They got everything. Logitech group of companies. If you're a gamer, podcaster, streamer, There you go. Bluemicrophones.ca. Have a great day, everybody. See you soon.